So let me use the last few minutes of my voice and share you some ideas around collective intelligence and how it affects the way we should be building our teams and hiring people. So first of all, please meet Asha. Asha is a software developer at Lunar Logic, where I work, and she joined the company earlier this year as an intern. So we've been looking for good candidates for interns, and we've got plenty of candidates. Interestingly enough, Asha has had no prior experience in software development when she applied. So obviously, there have been a bunch of folks who had been better at tech when it comes to technical skills than she was at the time. Nevertheless, she was our top pick. And to understand why, I need to introduce another person. This is Professor Anita Woolley. Anita Woolley along with her team, ran research on collective intelligence. So first of all, what collective intelligence is. So when we look at individual intelligence, the basic pattern to figure out how intelligent we are is we take people, make them solve complex problems, and the better they do that, the more intelligent they are. This is kind of meta pattern of all IQ tests. So we can do the same against groups and figure out how well the groups are doing against complex problems. So first of all, Anita Woolley's team confirmed that there is such a thing as collective intelligence. But they did also found a few interesting other things. First of all, collective intelligence seems to be much more predictive when it comes to figuring out how well a group would deal with complex problems than individual traits are, like average intelligence of members of the group or maximal intelligence in that group. 2, teams beat the crap out of individuals when it comes to performance on that account. So groups that were highly collectively intelligent were much, much better than a smartest person in a room, so the most intelligent individual. But even groups that were low on collective intelligence were on par or slightly better than the smartest person in a room. So what it seems that there is no dumbing down factor. 3, and this is where things starts getting interesting. There is no correlation between collective intelligence and individual intelligence. In other words, if we want to optimize our teams for collective intelligence, hiring smartest people around, most intelligent individuals, is not the way to go. If it's not, what is? Well, there seems to be 2 factors that are responsible for high collective intelligence. First of all, social perceptiveness, or empathy, if you will. Paying attention to how others feel, understanding to how they feel. And second, evenness of a communication. It's not about how clearly I am able to express myself. It's about getting everyone involved in a communication, in discussion, letting everyone being heard, giving everyone a chance to speak up. Now, when I talk about that in the context of our industry, I frequently hear, you know what? Yeah, that's all good and fine. I will pay attention to that. But our industry is so specific that we have this high bar of technical skills that we require to do even the basic tasks. So we will pay attention to that once we hire the best technically skilled people. Well, as some of you may be aware, Google is on some sort of a quest to find what the perfect team is. Good luck with that, by the way. Anyway, they are doing lots of interesting research. So they hire researchers from academia, and they are playing with data from almost 200 teams in Google, and they were looking for patterns. What makes teams at Google top performers? And what they found out is exactly the same thing what Anita Woolley's team did find initially. So it seems it's not technical skills, it's social perceptiveness and evenness of a communication. Here it is, and a proof from our industry. There is, however, one follow-up conclusion to the research about collective intelligence, and it is, and some of you may be already aware what I'm going to say, the more women in our team, the better the collective intelligence. And it's not about reaching 50-50 diversity. In fact, the performance curve goes narrowly up when we have more than 50% of women in a team, and it peaks when teams are dominated by women. Now, this is a point when I'm called either a feminist or a sexist asshole. Interestingly enough, I'm called the latter, mostly by women, but what can you do? The fact is, I'm neither. So let me explain myself. So we already established that more empathy translates to better collective intelligence. Like this is a direct finding from the research of collective intelligence. There is, however, another dynamics that we can see here. So more empathy also means more respect. So if I'm empathic, I pay attention to your feelings, I understand your feelings better, and because I'm not an asshole who wants to make your lives more miserable, I will behave accordingly. I will behave in a way not to make you hurt. So I will ask, in short, I will ask in a more respectful way. Respect, in turn, improves the way we communicate. So we are talking about, we are the part of a discussion, and if I'm more respectful, I'm more empathic, I pay attention to how you feel, how you behave, I also act in a different way. I see that someone wants to speak up. I see that someone needs to be prompted with a question to share their opinion. And suddenly a discussion isn't dominated by those few extroverted, alpha male, ego-driven folks that we have on our teams. Communication becomes more even. And this, in turn, improves collective intelligence even further. Now, we probably all here are in the context of knowledge work. So at the core of our work, there is solving problems. And we already established that collective intelligence serves as pretty damn good metric for how well we solve problems. In other words, empathy translates to better business outcomes. Empathy earns money. And if that's not enough, we get a lot of reports from all sorts of different areas in different businesses how empathy earns money. Empathy earns money through better UX design, through better client retention, through improved hospitality, through social responsibility, and so on and so forth. Empathy earns money. Now, it is a time where we should ask a question, whether empathy is gendered then. Lucky us, there is research titled exactly like that. Claudia Strauss, in her research, tried to answer the question whether empathy has a gender. And one of the things that she pointed in her research is that when we look at affective aspect of empathy, which is an ability to co-feel with others, out of 22 studies that she found on that, in each and every of them, women scored better. And in more than 90% of those, they scored significantly better. Now, if that is not the proof, I don't know what is. So I look at it, and I see that, simply put, empathy translates to better business outcomes. And this is what I'm paid to do at my job. I want to improve business outcomes. In other words, I redefine what constitutes the best candidate to our teams and to our company. And just so happens that it makes it easier for women. And you know, I don't mind, because we made it so hard for them for so many years. Thank you very much.